Hello everyone, my name is Wendy with Winds of Change Ministries. Today I'm going to talk about the Hawkins Scale of Consciousness chart. So let me just give you some backstory first because it's relevant. When I was growing up, I was raised in a Pentecostal church. And I love the Pentecostal because they're not afraid of the Holy Spirit. A lot of denominations are, but not the Pentecostal. What they are afraid of is science. And that is one of the things that has really played a big role in my personal development. So science and anything that would be considered taboo, okay? So I was raised from age 12 to my high school years in my most impressionable years, in the Pentecostal church, and it has greatly influenced me. So I ran from God for several years, about 15 years, and then I went back to church, and even though I was no longer in the Pentecostal church, it greatly influenced me. And later on, I ended up leaving the church again, but this time not out of rebellion, but because God guided me out of the church, and I went on my awakening journey. And but that stubborn Pentecostal was still inside me. If I knew about the Holy Spirit and I had a relationship with the Holy Spirit, but if I didn't hear it from God Himself, then I wasn't going to believe it, and I wasn't even going to entertain it, and I wasn't going to research it. And so God had to introduce the subject before I tried to learn about it. And so anyway, about a month and a half ago, I considered making some videos to help a friend of mine who suffers with depression. And even though he's very spiritual, he's stuck in a very low vibration. And I wanted to make a chart using colors. How do you like my rainbow shirt, right? Using colors to kind of show a vibrational chart of how to raise, kind of explain how the lower vibrations have these things and you got to go up. Anyway, I knew in my mind what I wanted, and I knew in my mind that I wanted to use colors to help express this chart that I was going to invent all by myself. Anyway, and then literally within 24 hours of having this idea, a video was suggested to me by a young girl who I did not know, who started talking about the Hawkins Scale of Consciousness, and she showed a little bit about it, and I was like, oh, that's exactly what I envisioned. So because God already put the desire in my heart, and God already showed me exactly what I needed to help my friend on his ascension, because I was already shown, right? I was now open to learning more about this. So I went ahead and did some research about the Hawkins Scale of Consciousness, and it's pretty good. I really like it, and it's actually fantastic. So who is this Hawkins guy? Well, he was born in the early 1900s, and he died in 2002. He went to Berkeley. He met Oppenheimer at Berkeley, and he was also into Hindu religions and the Eastern religions and philosophy, and they used to have conversations together about it. And He worked with Oppenheimer on the Manhattan Project. And so this guy was brilliant. He was a scientist, he was a philosopher, and that's how he was able to integrate philosophy and science together, because he had a passion for both. And I have a respect for both as well. So here I was wanting to do this, and he already beat me to it. In fact, this scale existed probably before I was even born. But anyway, I'm very grateful for it. And I'm going to discuss some of the things in this for my friend and for others who can benefit. So, there is this vibrational state that's very low, right? It's when people are down in the dumps. And this is our hell. And he used the red color to classify hell. And people who are in the state of mind of hell are those who suffer with guilt, shame, and apathy. You know, those are some pretty low vibrational feelings, and when you have them, you are in a state of hell. Then, moving into the orange, purgatory, is grief, fear, and desire. So, again, those aren't good feelings, and those are purgatory. You know, for example, how many people have stunted lives? Their lives have been stunted because they haven't dealt with their fear. Their fear of singing. Maybe they wanted to be a singer. Maybe they have a beautiful voice, but they have a fear of singing in public, and it has stunted them. Or, you know, they have desire, right, for somebody, and that desire is not reciprocated, it's one-sided. And so they're trapped in this state of purgatory, waiting for love from somebody who's never going to give it to them. So that is, you know, a low vibrational state. So if you're in that state, waiting for love from someone who isn't giving it to you, then let it go and move forward with your life so that you are no longer in purgatory. All right, then there's the yellow zone. Oh, let me just tell you that this both hell and purgatory are victim frequencies. It's people who, you know, feel like they don't have control of their life, bad things keep happening to them, and so it's a victim mentality, all right? Then you have the yellow, and this again is a victim mentality, and it's purgatory. These people deal with anger, grief, and pride. So, you know, anger has its place, it does, but you know, there is such a thing as righteous anger. But the thing is, you got to let it go. Forgiveness is very powerful. And if you don't have forgiveness and you don't move beyond the anger of this victim mentality, then you stay in the low vibrational frequency. Okay? So you have to forgive to move your vibrations. You're the one who gets to elevate. You're the one who, you're cutting the chain that is holding your vibrations down. Okay? So let go of anger. It doesn't serve anyone. Forgiveness is wonderful. Okay, so now we're moving into the green zone, and that is the 4D. This area is known for neutrality, willingness, and acceptance. It's good to be green. So if that was a chakra, that would be your heart chakra, and which is, so neutrality would be a sense of balance, and the heart chakra, if you've got the 7 chakras, right, within your being, then the heart chakra is right in the center, and so it is neutral. Okay, there is a sense of neutrality connected to the heart chakra. Okay, so the green zone is considered self-empowerment. So now you're in paradise. This is the next place above 5D. It is inner light, inner wisdom, and inner love. You know, it's so important to learn to love yourself. And a lot of people, they don't love themselves, but you have to. If there's something that you don't like about yourself, then change it, all right? One day, I'm just going to share this experience. One day, when I was in the my 7-year wilderness period, Jesus had a conversation with me, and from my toes all the way up to my head, he asked me, do you like this about yourself? And I gave an honest answer. Then my calves, do you like this? My thighs, do you like this? My rear end, do you like this? All the way up. And when he was done with my physical self, he started working on my personality traits. Do you like this about yourself? My givingness, my kindness, you know, generosity, whatever, the different things like that. He started working on those things, asking me questions, and I gave him honest answers. And I will honestly tell you, I didn't like a whole lot about myself. And to this, he said, change what you can and accept what you can't. But in the end, you have to learn to love yourself, okay? So that's my personal experience with being taught by God, some of the things that are in this. So yes, you have to love yourself if you're going to be in a state of paradise, okay? And you have your inner light and your wisdom. All right, so that was the blue color. Now we're moving up into the royal blue, and that would be oneness. This is self-realization, realizing just how special you are to God. You know, if you're in the lower states of mind, the low vibes, you might have an angry attitude towards God, saying, why? Why? That's victim mentality. When you learn to be neutral and accept that things are what they are, and you let go of that anger towards God, you actually kind of become one with God, all right? So that's the blue, and that is the 5D, and that is lower heaven. All right, self-realization and oneness. And here's a beautiful thing about oneness. You're no longer judgmental, or you very rarely judge people anymore. There's no need in judging people, because doing so brings you down into the lower vibes. You develop a mentality of trying to help them. And because as you help them, then you're raising up the vibes of the whole world. It's not about judging. It's about teaching and helping. And when you approach it with that attitude, then you're going to really make some progress with helping people around you. It's a mindset within yourself. All right, so next is the purple. I got my purple head wrap, and this is the I am stage. That's what it's identified. So God is the great I am, right? And once you realize that you are one with all things in the world, then you will eventually come to the realization that you are one with God too. God is all things, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And your neutral attitude helps you accept all those things. So this particular color is identified by presence, non-duality, and awareness. You know, let's talk about awareness for a moment. A lot of people complain about tickets, all right, traffic tickets. But if you're aware of things, you realize that if it wasn't for those traffic tickets, then we would have a lot more deaths right, from accidents because of reckless driving. So it's the awareness that gives you peace of mind. No one likes traffic tickets. No one likes seeing cops out scouting for, you know, they're hunting for their next prey, their next write up. But if you recognize that they're necessary, then it doesn't affect you, does it? So, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to raise our vibrations. All right. So, awareness is very important. The next stage or level is the golden level. This is enlightenment, and it's also identified as the great void. Now, I will tell you that I have been in the great void, and yes, you will be enlightened there. Okay, you will be enlightened. So, the next stage is the black zone, and this area is identified by the divine grace, love union, the supra causal truth, causal truth. That's what it is, not casual, causal, because we're talking about cause and effects, right? So you've come to a great understanding, like a super understanding about cause and effects. All right, that's what that is. There's a lot of people that understand the concept of cause and effects, but you know, they may only see a couple steps ahead, right? But the super what is it called? The supra causal truth. The supra. Oh, you can see the big picture of a lot of things. Okay? That takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of real life experience to see those ripple effects. All right. After the black zone is the 12th dimension, which is identified by the color of white. And this is full consciousness. So that is the Hawkins Scale of Consciousness. And I will tell you that I have had dreams before where I've been, like, several dreams in white areas, and then I'm either pulled into the black area, or I willingly walk into the black area. All right, there's a separation there. So to see this at the top of Hawkins Scale of Consciousness, where there is, you know, at the top of this rainbow is black and then white, I know this to be true. All right, God teaches through contrast. And so if you want to learn the deep mysteries and have a great understanding of things, you have to understand contrast and the lessons that God uses through that. You know, is the devil really evil? Is the or is there a purpose for the devil? All right, that's when you get to the really high levels of understanding, when you let go of your fears and you have a complete understanding of the balance of things. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this episode, this video, as I described the Hawkins Scale of Consciousness. And I'm going to be going deeper into this topic. So be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button so that you don't miss videos, because I am going to go into some of this and share some tips and tricks on how to conquer some of these things as we deal with our shadows. All right, as we deal with, not only learn to identify them, but also learn to work with them, right? And when you learn to work with them, you'll have your vibrations will really go up. Like I said, God teaches through compare and contrast, right? That's how that works. So you have to be able to work with your shadows. First you identify them, then you learn to work with them. All right? So, my name is Wendy. Excuse me. That gets me every time. I am Wendy, and we're all living in the winds of change.